Hey guys, wanted to let you all in on a few pieces of advice for those of you looking to make a Glaivier when she comes out, and some tips on how to get her up to tier 3 as soon as possible. So let's get into it. So alongside the Glaivier, we'll be getting a Phaeton Power Pass, which will bump you up to an eye level of 960. You can use this Power Pass on the Glaivier or any other character of your choice, but it's been confirmed that we'll actually earn this pass in-game and you won't need to buy it with real money from the shop. As for exactly how we earn that pass, we'll have to wait and see, but it should put you in tier 2 content right away with a +8 gear score for everything you have. First things first, you should just go ahead and make a female martial artist class and then just not choose an advanced class for him yet. Once the Glaivier drops, you can actually just choose that advanced class for that existing character. Not only does it let you secure your character name a little bit earlier, you can actually also start accumulating a rest bonus. Once the Glaivier drops and you've chosen her as the advanced class, you'll already have some rest bonus saved up, so those first few Chaos Dungeons, Guardian Raids, and Una Dailies will get a little bit of a boost. Speaking of, farming tier 2 Chaos Dungeons and Guardian Raids and then putting any unbound materials you have into roster storage should be priority number 1. Even if you've cleared out your daily allowance of these, doing endless Chaos Dungeons afterwards can still be a big help. The actual honing materials that you get from doing this can't be traded between characters, but the currency itself can. So it's a good idea to stockpile on these currencies and then just send them on over to your Glaivier when she comes out. The Silmal Bloodstone vendor also sells unbound Destruction Stones and Guardian Stones, but the Leap Stones and Shard Pouches it sells are bound to the character that buys them. If you got some extra blue crystals saved up, then buying some tier 2 crafting materials from Mari's shop can also be a big help. Once you buy it and it's sent to your product inventory to be claimed, don't actually claim it yet, since if you claim it on that character, it'll be stuck with them. You can leave them in your product inventory, and then when the Glaivier comes out, you can just claim everything on her. And speaking of marketing stuff, it's pretty much guaranteed that the price of tier 2 honing materials is going to go up once the Glaivier releases, so if you plan on buying any of this stuff with gold, it's better to do so now than wait for when she comes out. Also, if you're not interested in a Glaivier and you want to make some gold, it's probably going to be a good idea to stockpile some tier 2 crafting materials to sell the day she comes out. Doing some PvP in the meantime is also a pretty good idea since the currency for its vendor is roster-wide. Progressing further and further through the tiers of PvP also means you get access to more and more stuff to buy. Just be careful not to pop a blood vessel when you get matched up against 3 death blades again. The pirate coin vendor also sells unbound Guardian and Destruction Stones, so it's a good idea to pick these up as well. If you want, you can also start stockpiling gems to be used in Fusion. Regardless of what class that gem is for, if you trade it over to a different class and they use it in Fusion, it'll be upgraded into a gem that's specifically made for that class. Another big one is going to Anguished Isle here, since the vendor here sells life leap stones, which you will need a lot of. The vendor's stock here is actually per character and not per roster, so anyone who has access to this place should head on over and try to buy as many of those life leap stone chests as they can. The leap stones themselves are bound to the character that opens them, so just keep that chest and send it over to the Glaivier for when she's ready. And finally, something in your stronghold. You're going to need a lot of these Kaldar fusion materials and you can craft them here. To go from +8 gear, which is what you'll have with the Power Pass, all the way up to +15 gear needs an average of about 200 of these. Luckily you can craft these in big bundles, so it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Now as for what to do with your Glaivier once she's already been released. Obviously buy honing materials from all of those character bound vendors I mentioned earlier, but I think the most important thing not to neglect is the tower. The tower gives tons of upgrade materials, and I think it's something that a lot of people make the mistake of overlooking. With a fresh 960 level character, you should be able to do the first 25 to 30 levels of the tower without much hassle. Now as for your Unas, I think focusing on ones that give you shards are your best bet. Maybe do a few every now and again for some leap stones, but I think the shards are going to be your biggest bottleneck when leveling up. Also, do those Guardian Raids. At level 960, you'll have access to 5 different tier 2 Guardian Raids, and doing each of these for the first time will give you a chest full of upgrade materials. You don't need to harvest the Guardian Soul for this to happen, so you can do these all on the same day if you're up to it. Also do those story dungeons as well. Both Phaeton and Yorn have a bunch of story dungeons in them that you need to do once on normal and once on hard for their one-time rewards of honing materials. And finally, I'd recommend heading on over to Azure Wind Island here. The co-op quests here actually give you a crystal currency that can be exchanged for 3 medium life shard pouches each week. Which again, those life shards are going to be the biggest bottleneck for you leveling up. And that should be pretty much everything. Thank you guys for stopping by, and be sure to check out my sponsor, GamerSupps. Using promo code LOW gives you free shipping on your purchase, and they have free samples that you usually just have to pay for the shipping of, and I think you get where I'm going with this. Their stuff is genuinely great. I personally use it, and I really do like it. It would seriously help me out a ton if you guys check them out. Again, thank you for watching. Join the community Discord if you want to come hang out with me. Love you guys, and as always, see you in the next one.